Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man, and you already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about none other than that boy Troy Ave. Now, Troy Ave has been out here doing some work, man. Over the holidays, man, he dropped a brand new project, and it was called White Christmas 8. Now, on White Christmas 8, he had a diss track at none other than Casanova two times. Now, Casanova two times is having a tough time right now. He just had a situation where his bond hearing ain't looking too good. A lot of stuff is going in the other direction, man. I mean, looking bad for him as far as his case is concerned. And, man, there's a lot that he's got hanging over his head. But, man, Troy Ave is taking no prisoners because he said, man, this is the perfect opportunity for me to drop a diss track on him. And he dropped the diss track on Casanova two times called Asanova two times. And man, it seems like you, man, like you bullying somebody who's already down. But man, is this just all good in love and war, man? I'm being honest because I don't think anybody would spare Troy Ave either. And Troy Ave doesn't stop there. He goes in on other rappers. Now, before we get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. All right, now we got that out of the way, man. Let's talk about Troy Ave and Casanova two times. Just a little bit. Okay, so Troy Ave, man. Some of you should be familiar with Troy Ave. If you're not, man, Troy Ave is a Brooklyn-bred MC, and he got himself into a little bit of trouble a while ago, man. He had a situation where there was a shooting. Now, I always said this, man. The situation that Troy Ave got into, man, if he had got into that any time other in hip-hop, it would have been all right. It was just at the time that he got into that situation, so many people in hip-hop did not like Troy Ave that he ended up coming off looking like the bad guy somehow. But he played into a character too much and took to social media and to the media too much for validation, I think, man. I think that's part of what hurt him because, to be honest, everything he did based on old school street-wise thinking and logic, man, he would get a medal. He'd be like a rap superhero back in the day. But his whole problem was the fact that, man, a lot of people at that time just didn't like him. So what did Troy Ave do, man? He continued to double down on the antics, man. And he got more known for his antics and doing things on social media than any of his music. Like, Troy Ave on the music end hasn't been hot in a while, man. It's been a very, very long while. Now, him and Casanova two times, they got into it behind some jokes. Now, Casanova two times basically put it out there and said that, Troy Ave was washed and let it be known that Troy Ave was done and said a whole bunch of stuff, man. He called him the new soldier boy, and Troy Ave was taking some kind of issue with that because back in 2017, 2018, Soldier Boy was wilding, man. Soldier Boy was just doing too much, and he was just a caricature of his old self, and nobody wanted to be associated with that or even, compared to that. That's a diss, man. So he said, man, forget that, and they went to a war of words on social media. Now, this is mostly stayed on social media as far as I know, and both of them have their own respective camps, but Troy Ave is kind of in a silo where he works and operates on his own and tries to do different things to make dough and still make himself seem big that he controls. So he's got a podcast that he has, and it gives him an opportunity to voice out his opinion and his beefs with other rappers. So he's taken issue with Joe Budden numerous times. Like, he's talked about Joe Budden, they've talked about each other. They even went live each with DJ Academics, and they both were dissing like each other or whatever while they were on the live. And it was just an interesting thing to see. But Troy Ave and Casanova seem like they ain't going to be covering up their beef no time soon either, because Troy Ave, when he has a problem with you, he uses everything that he's got in his arsenal at you, and he doesn't mesh words either, man. Whatever he feels like saying, he's going to say, no matter how hard it hits, and no matter when it is. And right now, seems like it's the best time to diss Casanova two times in his book. And to be honest with you guys, I don't think that Casanova two times, if the shoe was on the other foot, would spare Troy Ave. So what does Troy Ave do? He drops a track called Asanova two times. Now, on this track, Asanova two times, he says some pretty disrespectful stuff, man. So let's break down some of the lyrics, man. Now, most of what he said on this track is at the end, where he talks in a long little monologue, I guess you want to call it, where he's just talking about, basically to about how he feels about his ops or whatever in the game. So he's letting it be known that he's gonna do whatever, man. He's wishing the illest feelings on him. I'm talking about some of the illest stuff that I'm not gonna repeat on this, but some of the other things that he said was about Casanova specifically is that he cooperated with the feds and that he also believes that he's a buffoon, and he calls him a rat many times. So man, this song is basically a song about calling Casanova 2 times a rat. Now that puts Casanova 2 times in a precarious situation. Want to know why? Because Casanova 2 times is locked up. So that is the worst thing to be calling him right now. Because due to his alleged affiliations, man, people are going to expect him to carry himself a certain way on the inside. So while he's on the inside, nobody could be throwing smut on his name like that or saying that he's anything other than a stand-up guy. So, and maybe that's just what Troy Ave is betting on. Maybe he's playing it to that move. Like he's saying, forget it, man. I don't care if you locked up. I'm going to make it hard for you out there. I mean, in there and out here. And that might just be his mentality because he says a whole bunch about Casanova in that aspect of him being a snitch and him being a rat. Now, he also takes a shot at Joe Budden, man. Now, him and Joe Budden have had an ongoing beef that's lasted a while, like I said before. But, man, I thought it was dead by now. But Troy Ave, I guess, is not over for him, man. He said, forget that. I'm going to go at Joe Budden, too. So he drops a couple of lines for Joe Budden and just talks about his past issues, allegedly, with substance abuse or whatnot. And which isn't funny, man, to be honest, man. To be honest with you all, this track is all right. I mean, it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. Most diss tracks are entertaining because you got somebody who's trying to, poke fun at and make jokes about somebody else, and everybody will sit down for the dozens. But at certain points, some of this stuff gets stale. Like, you can't tell the same joke every time. Now, a lot of the stuff that he's talking about Casanova 2 times, I've never heard anybody ever say that about Casanova. I've never heard anybody say that Casanova wasn't a stand-up dude in the street or that he had, a snitch jacket or a rat jacket on him or anything like that. So that's more interesting than him revisiting his stuff that he's saying about Joe Budden being, hooked on whatever, man. I'm not going to repeat any of that, man. But, it just stale. And at some point, you got to move on to something else if you don't have any more material. But Troy Ave seems like he's going into 2021 ready for war. Like he really wants it with other artists. And he talks about that in great detail. The only thing I'm wondering is if anybody's really, really listening or really, really wants to hear it, except us real hip-hop heads who keep our ears to the street. Now, with that, this been your boy. Hold up. What do you guys think? Do you think that Troy Ave is just out here flexing, trying to get attention for a single that probably won't do good and a mixtape that probably won't get that many listens? Or is Troy Ave just reestablishing himself in the game and making sure that folks know he ain't playing games out here? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.